Okay, we're live. My name is AC. This is Dank Flight Sim. I don't know what I'm doing. I'm not a real pilot. I'm not a real YouTuber, but I got one subscriber, and it isn't even me. So, hey, welcome, subscriber. And maybe I'll keep making more videos just because I got one subscriber. We're here back with, I think I said the title of this was multi-monitors. Yes, multi-monitors. And when I started today, of course, I didn't even, it was just went to sleep. So it wasn't like all the monitors came back right and the simulator still wasn't right. So that's the start of a new series of issues. But I did cut the process down because there wasn't a whole bunch of those experimental windows. There was only the two that were supposed to be there. They were just jumbled up. So the center one was over here. God, why do I get so nervous every time I start doing this? Nobody's watching. 0, 0, 0. But thank you, one subscriber. Thank you, thank you. I mean, that's wow. Why? That's I'll make another video. Okay, so we're sitting here. I fixed it by just putting all those windows into windowed mode and putting them where they're supposed to be after I got into the flight. And so I went back to settings after the flight started, and let's hope. So this is the one time you can see it's cold and dark while the light monitors are on, but it's glass out, works the right way when you first turn it on. I have one other small complaint about glass out is that it's not really glass out in particular. It's a lot of programs. They do not remember where the window was the last time you closed it. I don't understand that. Isn't there a simple way to do that with every program when you're writing software for Windows? To make it open in the exact same monitor and spot on that monitor, if that monitor is there, every time you start it. That's another thing. But I think it's also stopping my computer from going to sleep. I'm not 100% sure about that. I wasn't sure now. I'm not sure now whether, I mean, I had turned off OBS, I thought, and then it was still doing it, and I turned that off, glass out, and then it stopped. I'm not 100% sure. I'll do some more testing. But maybe that would make sense since it's a server. It runs as a server too. It might keep it awake. I don't know. But this is a energy consuming machine, as you can imagine, and so when I'm not flying it, I'm not doing office work here. This is not. Oh, let's turn on over here, a little nav map. You can't see that really. You can see the very bottom of it up there. There it is. That's on a different computer. It's on its computer twin. I bought two computers from maybe someday friend of the channel, Andy, my friend. I bought two computers from him long ago. I've upgraded both of them since then somewhat, but you know how it goes. And I didn't bring my drink over here. Okay. Non-alcoholic, of course. Okay, so here we are in the sim, and I had to rearrange the monitors again. Not the fault of glass out. Not, at least I don't think so. The fault of Microsoft Flight Simulator and the fact that it can't remember where it is. But let's get this party started by just firing up these things here. I have a honeycomb alpha yoke here. It's got switches and, oh yeah, battery and alternator switch on, beacon light on, nav light on. I don't need to duplicate those I don't need to make my own panel with those. I do need to make the, well, you can see it here. I can show because I can do things with this. Now that I have, I need to put the thing in the game. Okay, so let's go to center, And then while that's warming up, before we start, I can go over here. I can go down and then zoom in. Whoop, 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 whoop. Right there. Right here where it says standby bat, I need to put that switch in. Let's disappear the yoke. Can we do that? There we go. I need to put this and this in a panel that's over here, down here on the side. So all these lights are on my switch panel on the yoke. I probably need to do, I'll need to do these. And I need to do, can I move up, back, up, down, up, up. I need to do these things over here. The flaps, yes, the flaps, and the carb heat, and the cabin air. I need to do those, and there's an alternate, oh, is it down here? There, that alternate static source, this one right here, that guy, and the fuel selector. I need to do that. I have trim. Let's center the trim. There we go. Yeah, okay. Anyway, so there's some switches I still have to make places for on my cockpit area. And I'm thinking of, I've got some modular plans. It has several pieces. You know, it has several modules per se. So there's still a module I have to put here. This whole idea of tilting this 15 degrees was a bad idea. I thought it was cool. But maybe I should only tilt, if I want to tilt it, I should have probably only tilted it 5 degrees. 15 degrees is a lot, as it turns out. It looks great from my point of view. That's not the problem. It's that I think it comes out too far into this space here. You know, it blocks way more than the glare shield on the screen does. And on this side, it just blocks a little bit more than the glare shield on the screen. Of course, my perspective is not, I don't see all that from when I'm sitting here. Okay, so let's go back to there, and we're back, and we can fly. Let's go fly. Let's go, we're at El Monte. Let's go to edit, and let's just clear whatever garbage is in there on my EFB. K, Kilo, Echo, Mike, Tango. That's where we are. Kilo, Echo, Mike, Tango. And, oh, let's start this thing. We're using up batteries while I yap. Strobe light on. Mixture, full rich. Crack the throttle. Fuel is flowing on the fuel pump. That's at least 3 seconds. Back off on the mixture a little bit. So, here, see, I gotta make an OBS. I was gonna say that this is gonna be maybe the last flight before I take this panel off again, because this was just a temporary fitting. It's not even screwed in, really. I think I have one screw holding the whole thing on, maybe 2, to the base that I've also. So I made this side piece, a new side piece, a much thicker, beefier one. I just had a thin piece of plywood over here, and I have a thin piece of plywood over here. Now I have a big, thick piece of plywood over here on this side, and I'm going to redo several paint. I've got to paint, so that might all happen tomorrow because it's a holiday weekend here in the United States. So anyway, engine started. Let's turn the avionics on. And Moe flight is working. Yes, yes, yes. Okay, and our charging 12 volts should be off for takeoff. I keep forgetting about that. And I'm going to do something about this cabling here. It's a mess. Now I have a plug and a cable coming out and to plug my iPad in. And then when I'm streaming, I have this cable for the headphones. I don't want cables in my way. Okay. Let's get the ATIS. I forget what I'm doing. ATIS is 118.75. You'd think I'd have that memorized by now. I hate that it doesn't. I gotta get that mod put back in here. The what mod is it called? 118. Yeah. Yeah, 1929.94. So how's our temperature? Oil's warmed up. That's unrealistic. It warms up so fast. Oops. 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 There we go. Stream Deck. I did get the Stream Deck program good, so I can get around a lot. Very easy. All right, let's go. Let's not run over the dude who's always right in front of you. When you don't, I don't need you. I'm a Cessna. I can't believe that that still exists. There's not an option to turn that guy off. Just go away. Shift P, I thought was it, but it doesn't send him away. And I can't figure out how to program or deprogram Shift P because I have my pedestal on Shift P. Okay, let's pretend before we enter the airport grounds here on that yellow line in front of us that we have contacted ground, or at least tower 121.2. Oh, I should have done it. Wait, 118. What's ATIS? 118.75. Let's do this one. 121.2. Turned it the wrong way. Okay, so 229, and let's get that, and we're going to take runway 19, which is actually 191. Set the course for 191. One. 9 1. Okay, course set for 191. Let's go down to the end of the runway. Let's get our taxi lights on. And let's pretend like we have taxi clearance. And we're going to be taxiing down taxiway Alpha. Come on. Let's get a move on. Let's stay on the center line, dude. I gotta remember how to taxi. What a beautiful view from El Monte, huh? Okay, so 299.4 on the altimeter. We don't have an alternate altimeter. One of these days, I'm gonna add that too. This is a work in progress. This sim pit. It's a modular sim pit. I have a Moza Racing set up for it too. And I also want to get another Alpha controller and make another cockpit without any screens on it, so I can just use the screen on the computer. Hold short lines, flaps. Okay, mixture rich, landing lights are on. Let's set some 2500, let's say. I don't even know where we're going. Let's go to Camarillo. I think that's how you say it. So we'll say VS at 500, and we'll say heading mode, and we'll put the heading, runway heading. Okay. All right, I should get a drink before I take off. All right, hold on. We're stuck on the runway. Let's put the parking brake on. Nobody's behind us. There's no 747s landing, which does happen in this simulator, doesn't it? We're talking, one of these days we'll get the new flight simulator. All right, we're back. I know. It's very exciting. Don't hold your enthusiasm. Oh, I hit the wrong thing on my iPad. Okay. Here we are, runway 19, flaps set, mixture rich, lights are on, trim. Trim is set. Flight controls seem to be working. We tested the brakes. Parking brake off. Autopilot is set. Altimeter 2994 is set. Runway 19 identified. T's and P's look good. .65, let's point it down the runway. Feet off the rudder pedals. Too much pitch. Oh my god, pitch. Pitch, dude. Pitch. I went off the runway center line. Trim. 400. Oh my goodness. Okay, he's back on the throttle, flaps up. Okay, a little bit of rudder, a little bit too much throttle. Let's get it to 2500. Fly runway heading the other way, Okay, now we can turn towards Los Angeles. Our Camarillo is over to our right. Let's go this way. Yes, this is exactly how a real pilot would do it. No, we don't have any. One of these days I'm going to like do some say intentions and start learning the radio stuff. November 9905 Alpha Charlie, IFR, heading west. Requesting flight following. I'd have to see my altitude. 1900 for 2500. Heading to Charlie Mike Alpha Airport. I think that's what you would say. Camarillo, Charlie Mike Alpha. I think that's what it is. Let's fly down the valley right over Burbank. I think we need to go way higher than 2500 though, so let's head our heading bug and let's go to 4500, and we'll just set the heading bug and let's take some mixture out now that we're above 2000. I gotta learn that too, the mixture stuff. Okay, heading bug, let's get that right there. And actually I want to go that way. Let's see if I can follow the magenta. I need to practice that too. I need to follow the magenta flight director. I could put that on here and show you what I mean. I need to follow that guy, that magenta thing. So much the vertical is the lateral. For lateral navigation, I'll let the climb figure itself out for now. Let's get back off the mixture a little bit more and push the trim down a little bit. Don't forget about the magenta line, the magenta flight director. So if we were a VFR, we'd be in trouble right now because we're about to fly into a cloud. You can't fly into clouds when you're VFR. You must stay like a half a mile away from any cloud, I think. No clouds for you. Because we don't have a flight plan. Because I kind of want to practice manual flying. And when I have a flight plan, I tend to just turn on the autopilot. Okay. Should I turn the screen back to... Oh, no, probably not that. Center. This what it looks out the right window over there. And out the left window over here. Where's the magenta thing? Flight director. Follow the flight director. My line looks semi-straight there on the little nav map over here. That's good. I will put the autopilot on in a minute, I think, so I can get a drink. But we're pretty trimmed out on our climb. I'll give myself that. And I do have to give it a little bit of right. So if I had to trim an aileron trim, I'd have to give it a little bit of right aileron trim. And also a little bit of right rudder. And that is because why? Is it the wind? I don't think so. I think it's the weight of the plane. I don't know. It always seems to roll to the left. Is it the rotating, counter-rotating force of the engine and the propeller? Could be. Also got to back off the yeah, I think I just went right through the, no, that stayed to the left of me. Okay, watch the magenta. Flight director, I'm getting off course. I want to go down the valley. Alright, we'll put the autopilot on now. That way I don't have to trim at the top of the climb, and then I'll get back here in a second. Well, I'll probably do. Because I'm going to take the autopilot off again. Sorry if that's coming in. Oh, there's downtown LA. Isn't it? Yes, it is. That's a nice view. That's what I like, is that I can sit here in my plane and look out the side, and then I'm looking out the side window, and then I look over here and I'm looking out that side window. No VR, no head tracking. And while it's not perfectly lined up, it's close enough to fool me when I'm flying. Gives me that. Okay, now we're going to back off the throttle a little bit. Shoot for 105 knots. Let's see a flyby in the cloud. Oh, look at that. That's cool. $105 knots. Oh, we're slowing down a little too much. We should probably get off the, let's see. Is that going to give us more power? Another flyby. Yes, it does give us more power. Okay, let's see. Let's get a steady flow here and do some mixture. I rarely do that. We're going far enough. And do I know exactly where I'm going? Yes, we're going to Camarillo. I don't have a flight plan, but I know which way it is. It's the way we're going, mostly. To the left slightly, I think. Alright, we're slowing down a little bit. So now, and it just went up to 2480. If I take some off, let's go to soft keys and bring up MS1 and soft key 1, and let's look at the system soft key 3 now. Lean. That gives me the EGTs, and now I can do 3, 4, 5. The 5 selects a cylinder. Now Oh, I'm hitting PS5, which is nothing. MS5 selects a cylinder. 3 is the coldest one. 1450, 1465, 1440, 1470, and 4 is the hottest one. And 1 is in the middle. Okay, so let's look at 1 while we back off the mixture. I gotta learn what rich a peak and lean a peak is. Is it peak power? Like RPM power? Or like peak manifold pressure in a I don't think I have manifold pressure. I just have don't you use manifold pressure only in constant speed props? I don't know. I gotta learn that. My dad had a Bonanza. I should know. I only have 2 knobs here. 2 pull things. I got 1 for mixture. I don't have a prop. I don't have a variable pitch prop. We just went right over Burbank. Well, not really, but pretty close to it. You can see here if I go back to views. Now if I go to OBS and then I go to MFD and then I zoom in, you can see where we just went right past Burbank and we're 4 miles out from Van Nuys. And we've probably violated all the airspace, but we're 4,500 feet flying VFR towards Camarillo in the Cessna 172S G1000. And Camarillo is really that way more. Oh, let's go. Camarillo's more over there. Over that way. We're going that way, mostly. We gotta go that way. We gotta go like... Let's go right over Van Nuys. Let's go heading 270 for now. 270. We'll go right over the end of the runway at Van Nuys. It's a little bit very light chop. Not even a chop, it's more of a... You know what? We do have to go more left if we're going to avoid, or more right if we're going to avoid the... Let's go 275. If we're going to avoid that restricted airspace that is over by the airbase. I think there's a restricted airspace over here. Okay, so we're going 117 knots over the ground. What does that say our track is? 277, and the GPS says 277. There's Van Nuys down out there. Wish we had some live traffic. That's what I really miss. There's not really the traffic. I would love some live traffic in real ATC and have to be forced. And you know, VATSIM just doesn't do it because there's hardly any controllers, which I can understand because who wants to sit and work for free with a bunch of dudes in their basements? I'm literally sitting in my basement. So, oh, let's get the information for Kilo Charlie Mike Alpha Camarillo, California. ATIS 126.02. We'll see if we can dial that in. Oh my God, I just hit the barometer. It was 9.4. Whoopsie, you gotta be careful there, dude. I have the same kind of knob. I need to fix that. I need to get different knobs. I need to create some of my own knobs because I couldn't find knobs that I wanted on the interwebs for these dual rotary encoders. Okay, we're getting bounced around a little bit at 4,500. After this mountains here, there's a little valley, another valley after that, where Simi Valley is. I believe that's Simi Valley straight ahead. So we can go down to 3,500. Okay, so ATIS 126.02. That's what I was trying to do. 025. Okay, runway 26, of course. And then the tower is 128.2. And we're LA Center. One three five. 135.5. Okay, and then let's put that in there, and then we are going to go back to our radios. Oh, I need to make a radio buttons for the radio control. I have it on Stream Deck here, so let's listen to COM2 if there's anything on that. The way this is set up, I need to fix it, but I think in the G1000 NXI you can listen to both COM1 and COM2 at the same time. Okay, you can see on the MFD that we have gone right through the lowest part of that valley there, and right ahead of us, where that darker green is Simi Valley, I believe. Okay, let's look at the airport though, which you can't see unfortunately. I'm going to try again for the Android tablet to get it on the stream, but the app doesn't work so good on the Android tablet sometimes. Okay, runway 26 has got PAPI lights, P4L. Glide slope is 3 degrees. The threshold crossing height is 48 feet at that for the PAPIs. The runway is 6,013 feet by 150. It's resurfaced concrete asphalt, medium intensity running lights. Extreme noise sensitive area. Parachute jumping. Wildlife. Fuel available 24 hours. Mountain 1,073 feet above sea level, 5 miles east end of runway 26. Mountain 1,814 feet, 5 miles east southeast at runway 26. No formation, traffic, or landings. God, I hate all these abbreviations they have in the remarks. I know, you have to be trained, but holy shit. What I think we should have, I hate AI, but we should have like an AI reader of METARs and pi reps and the airport remarks. Okay, let's turn a little bit to our left. Follow the valley. Runway 26, let's put that in the course. Oh, it's already in there. 259. What is the runway direction? The actual runway direction. Let's look at the diagram and see if that tells us. 256 degrees. Let's put that in our course selector. 256. So basically we're pointed exactly the same direction as the runway, but we're not pointed at the runway. The runway's to our left. So we're going to turn to our left some more. And then we'll pretend like we're allowed to go have a straight in approach, which we probably wouldn't. We'd probably have to, they'd probably make us do a flyover, join the downwind, midfield downwind join, which I don't even know how to do. Oh, let's put something on besides that. I'm flying the same track I've flown almost, well, at least one time before, according to my tracks on Little Nav Map. That is hilarious. And there's another track about a mile away. So I've flown this bird this exact way before. Okay, so runway 26, 6,013 feet long. We won't make runway. There's kind of a high-speed taxiway C, but I'm not good enough. That's the third taxiway on the left. All the taxiways are on the left. Let's see if we can make taxiway C. Let's see if we can have a greaser nice 65 knot landing. The winds are pretty favorable. My allergies are driving me nuts. 2509 knots. 2995. Altimeter checked. Runway elevation is 77 feet. So we are 10 miles out and 4,000 feet. And we have to lose 4,500, almost 4,500 feet. And it's 3 miles per 1,000 feet, right? So 4 times 3 is 12. I should start my descent now. So let's go down to 3,500 VS. Let the autopilot do the work, and let's turn a little bit more to our left. And let's keep the speed down. This plane doesn't like to go too fast. So we try to keep it at 105 knots. And we're at 110 right now. 110, 110 knots. There's our left window view. And right window view. I know if you had VR, you could go up to the window and look down and stuff. Yeah. I know. Oh my god, my allergies. I think I'm gonna have to sneeze. Well, we'll see. Look at that view. That is nice. That's a nice view. Slow it down. Yeah, this is a slow plane. This plane does not like to go fast. It starts bouncing all over the place. Yellow line at 130 knots. 127. Do not exceed. Don't even get close to that. Don't exceed. I mean, don't exceed 115 knots in this thing, right? Just don't. Just cruise at 105 if you can do it. Trim it for 105 and cruise. That's what I say. Okay, I have the airport in sight. We're going to turn runway heading. I think we turned a little too soon. Let's leave it over here for a little bit longer. Let's go down to 2500. My dad would be blown away by this setup compared to what he had to deal with when he was still alive. Kind of wish you could see it. Wish you could see it. Wish you could fly it. Tell me what he thinks. Okay. Oh my God, I think that's Oxnard that I see, and that Camarillo is way closer. This happens to me all the time. So we're going to kind of go this way. And we're going to go this way. We're going to lose. Let's go this way, and Kilo Charlie Mike Alpha Space. Okay, and then let's find us. Okay. Oh my God. Do you think, how far out am I? Do you think I can make it? 2,700 feet. And I am about 4 miles out. So too high. Good. Camarillo and Oxnard are an exact. They're in the same. They point to one runway, pointing the same way, a few miles apart. California is crazy with airports. Yeah, we'll make the runway, no problem. Okay, let's lose some speed. Alright, let's go to the radios and get back on the tower frequency. Let's get a notch of flaps in. Oh my God, we're still doing 100 knots. There we go, that's my trick. Pitch up, put in the flaps. Then we actually going to have to put in some power. Okay, now we can let it slide down a little bit. Not that much. Let's pitch up again. We're still too fast. Alright, now we can let it go down. Now we can add in some flaps. Let's add in full flaps. Trim, trim. Alright, we're slower than 75 knots. Look at that, just like that. Second wire. And we want to keep above 65. I'd like to keep above 70. I like to approach at 75. And we're slow. Pappies say we're high. But there's buildings right there. There's hardly any power. We got speed to give, so we can point us down a little bit. Still no pappies. Still no red pappies. Oh, I think we got one red. Got one red. 67. Put in some power. Put in some power. 66 knots. 2 reds, 2 whites. Holding back on the yoke. 2 reds, 2 whites, 61 knots. Gets put in a little bit. A little bit of more power. Let's grease this sucker. Let's keep it flying down to the runway. Fly it down to the runway. Fly it down to the runway. Okay, there we go. 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 135. That was a little dip on the side there. Not good. Okay, let's get this taxiway. Can we get the taxiway? I think we can. Got the taxiway. Got the third taxiway. Good job. Goal achieved. Let's get off the runway. Clean it up. All right. Well, that wasn't great landing, but it wasn't horrible. There's our, so past the 1,000-foot mark, 1.19, 135 foot. You know, not the greatest, not the greatest. I wish we had a little bit more speed. I got us slowed down a lot. I got us down. I wonder if that was what an instructor would do with that. You dumbass. Dumas. Okay, and landing lights are off. Strobe light, let's take that off too. And let's go back to the tower and drop our cargo off at Camarillo. There was some dudes down at Emmett. They had some car parts. They're working on this thing. They didn't really want to drive all the way here. They're rich MFers. So they hired me $400 an hour. And I don't think $400 an hour would cover the cost of flying a Cessna 172 in May of 2026 in California. I just don't. Would $400 an hour cover it? No. No, not a chance in hell. Right? God, oh, not those guys. Not you guys. I don't want to talk to you guys. We're going past them. I don't mean to. I just don't like you. I don't need you. Now, what they should have is like if it's a FBO, they should have like a guy in a cart. How much gas do we have? We got plenty of gas for our tours around. Let's go over here. All right. Yeah, our mobile home. I parked over here before. Our trailer park. Our temporary. There we go. That's where he's waiting. He and she, they're here. The renovation, car renovation couple. Okay, so parking brakes on. Avionics off. Taxi light off. Gosh, that's it. So here's the bug again. The one thing I don't like about glass out. I wonder if they'll ever fix that. I mean, it's 1.8. Well, I guess it's beta 1.8. I guess it's whatever. People version numbers don't matter anymore either. It's 2026. Nothing matters anymore. But thank you for Glass Out. I like it. I think that it allows me actually to stream without any performance hit, because I had a huge performance hit from, I'm starting to realize, the smoothness of, I'm still not good at landing, but I'm getting better, and I think part of it is because the frame rate is like 60 frames per second, which it has to be. That's the minimum, you know. That's like the minimum, right? That's the minimum frame rate you should have, is kind of like in this kind of game. I think that's the best I can hope for with my setup. I don't know what the frame rate is. I haven't. I had it up, and then I turned it off, and I can't remember how to turn it back on. Developer mode. That developer mode. That's it. Just helped me remember. Thank you. All right, so I'll turn it back on, or I'll find the most. I didn't really like that developer mode overlay because it's really obnoxious and huge. I don't know if there's a way to control what's on it. I don't know any of those things. You know, at the beginning I said flight following, but I would have had a squawk. I never put in a squawk code. Whoopsie. Yeah, like that was the only thing I did wrong. Haha. Okay, so here we are at Camarillo. We made it, though, in one piece. We didn't crash. We didn't crash into any mountains. We navigated ourselves pretty even. I didn't even really look at the map because I know this area so well that I just knew where I wanted to go. I knew which way it was. If you could see my little nav map pass from just that's this other mouse. I don't know if you can see all these green lines up here. That's just this little area around Camarillo and Oxnard, which is this other airport right there. Right there. See all those lines? And then there's Santa Barbara's off that way. And then LA's back that way. And then there's this restricted area you're not supposed to fly through right there. And there's an air base there somewhere. Yeah, I've flown all over this. All over. And if you look, I don't know if you can see that, but there's a bunch of green lines on this screen here. All over the valley, San Gabriel, all over, back over to, well, these go off. One of them goes off to Sedona. I went to Sedona. I flew to this airport, Big Bear City. Yeah. I landed there, Big Bear City in the middle of the desert. That is where I realized that I used to have the, this is going to date me, the CH Products throttle quadrant. It's over there on the table. Yeah, and I had that, and Flight Simulator somehow this plane is the Cessna 172 tow plane, which means I guess that it has a little tow hook in the back, and then there's another way to release it. There must be a lever, a button, a hook, a something in the plane somewhere on there that I got to go look for, or map or whatever, and you can tow gliders up with this thing. So, but that's not the one that I had before. So when I started flying again after this was turned, after I had it as set up as a race sim for about a year or 6 months or something, and so then when I started it back, all the bindings and stuff were gone except for the Moby Flight stuff, but all the other stuff was gone, and I had to do it all over again. And then I didn't realize the mixture was up full rich. So the whole time I was flying for about 2 days before I realized it, and I had gone to that Big Bear place, which is like 7,000 feet. And then I tried to, I don't know why I didn't have trouble until then, but I tried to take off from there, and I could barely get off the ground. And I was like, what the hell is going on? And I had the mixture pulled back, and I have this gauge on the Stream Deck over here, but to tell me what it actually is according to the simulator, like mix percentage gauge, and it was still saying 89%. And then I realized that it was one of those levers on that thing. As soon as I disconnected that thing, I wasn't having any performance at altitude, and I couldn't figure it out. And I was like, God, I don't remember the Cessna being so crappy at altitude. And it was so crappy because the mixture was stuck at super high. And of course you have to manage the mixture, which is why I bought these levers that you can't see down here because of the 15-degree angle on this thing that sticks way out now. That's like 4 or 5 inches. It's 1 inch over here in this spot, or 24 millimeters, and it's like 100 millimeters over here, 110, 20 millimeters. It's like a big span over here. Anyway, I'm babbling. So I want to get the Gear Falcon or some 3-lever thing too, so that I don't always want to just fly a Cessna. I know I'm going to get better, and I probably get bored with the Cessna. And so I'm going to want one with a prop lever. So I'm going to have to get one. That's the next step, as I'll move up to one with like flying I'd like to fly, like, if there's a good one that I can buy even for Flight Simulator or X-Plane. I'm also going to set up X-Plane. I had this whole rig working with X-Plane before Microsoft Flight Simulator. Flying X-Plane. I flew X-Plane 11 and I flew X-Plane 11 for a while before there was Flight Simulator 2020. Does that make any sense? Yes. I hope so. Because it's X-Plane 12 now. Anyway, so I'm not a total just Flight Simulator geek. I complain about Microsoft all the time. Yeah, I do. So anyway, what was I going to say? I don't know. It doesn't matter. I should end the stream. I'm yapping. I was supposed to be a flight about me complaining about the screens, as a matter of fact. So the next time I turn this on, it probably won't work right. Here, let's do this. Why, that bothers me. That bug. Glass out. Let's fix this. Please, fix this. So this does not match that. This does not match that. This, that, not the same. I'm sure they'll fix it. Or maybe not. There's been no reaction, except that I did get one subscriber. Thank you, one subscriber. Don't let me forget that. Thank you for your subscription. And you'll probably be in a very lonely club. But there's other people. All those other YouTubers are better than me. So I'm sure you're subscribed to many much better content. So that's good. What's I going to say? So yeah, this might be the last flight before I take this apart, because I'm thinking of taking it apart maybe even tonight. I might fly a few more flights, but I need to also print the covers for this. I need to finish designing and printing this lower panel that you can't see, that's off camera, down here under the Stream Deck panel, which you can barely see. There's this panel, this Stream Deck panel. Someday I'll do a video about this whole panel, maybe, if it'll interest anybody. I doubt it. But I have to finish designing and printing the panel over here. And then this panel's on this side. This whole side is designed wrong. So I'm going to redo this design a little bit and remake this. Ooh, that wasn't good. I'm going to remake this panel here. It does have a side piece here, but it just doesn't go all the way up. It ends down here, and I didn't finish designing all this other stuff. So many pieces still have to be designed and 3D printed. I'm also going to have a piece of wood kind of going out this way and another one going this way for me to be able to hold more stuff. And I kind of want to figure out so I have the knee board with the Flight Plan Go on the iPad, and I also have an Android tablet because I wanted to. Android makes it easy to stream right to OBS, so I wanted to do that, but the app just doesn't work very good. This app does not work as well on Android as it does on this, and it crashes on iPad sometimes too. It's now owned by Garmin, and why even Garmin cares about this app, I don't know. They have their own stuff that's expensive. So this is Flight Plan Go. I still recommend it if you have an iPad and you're cheap and you're poor like me. Let me turn off the... See glass out? I have to turn this off now because it's not right. So I have to go up here to glass out and hit close all. Okay. So I'm what was I saying? I'm still not finished with this rig, is what I'm trying to say. It's got more, and I might even end up redesigning. If I redesign this part over here, I really should just redesign this half, the MFD half, so that it's 5 degrees or straight across. This whole 15-degree tilt here, that's too much. It looks cool from here. It looks cool. And if I had bigger screens, that would be great. I would still have to remake this back piece, I think, because it's not the right... Well, I'm going to fill it in the way it is, because I wasn't going to remake this back piece. It turns out I made a 10 millimeter mistake, which didn't quite really matter in the end, but if I was being really finicky, I'd fix it, or I can actually fix it with a different pieces over on this side that are 10 millimeters wider, and then when I fix this side, it's less than 10 millimeters less, blah blah blah. Anyway, doesn't matter. This is also the center of the screen, even though I did get it over more from where it was originally designed when I ended up first putting this together. It's still about 12 to 15 millimeters. The center of this screen is about 12 millimeters to the left of the center of the yoke. It drives my wife crazy. She says, "How can that not be driving you crazy?" I'm like, I don't notice it. But if you go look in almost any glass panel with a yoke, like a real airplane, like a G1000 glass panel, the center of the PFD is usually centered right directly over the yoke. So there's that. So this is kind of like not exactly right. It's probably a little closer. I got my arm straight out, but it's probably a little closer in than it would be on a real plane. I tried to get measurements for how a seat and everything was and how high everything was, and I ended up making this bottom of this a couple inches higher than a real Cessna because I kept banging my knees. And I'm like, there must be some way that the seat is even lower or something, but I don't know. When I had it all set up with what I found on the internet were the exact like kind of cross section through the middle here of the seat height and the dashboard the top of the bottom of the dashboard from the floor and all that stuff. I felt like I was sitting on the floor staring at a wall of this screen, and that in order to see anything out the window I would have had to be going like this. But then when I look at like videos of people actually flying the plane, they're sitting in the plane and like my nose is probably level with this top of this, sitting straight and not going up, but sitting straight. So of course the pilot can go up and look over the cowling a little bit. Of course, when I do that, nothing changes because it's not 3D, and it's not virtual reality and none of that stuff. But at least I can see the world, and that's why I have to have chase cam. It's another thing that makes this doable with the cameras, the way the Microsoft Flight Simulator cameras are. It's not doable. 3 screens are not doable. I know there's people that have maybe because they're bigger screens or the resolution's different, or this 32-inch screens that I have here. They're a 32. Yeah, they're 32-inch screens. These are 3 32-inch curved monitors. They're barely curved, but they're curved. Whatever the angle is, it is what it is. You know, I kind of measured it, but I just also kind of measured it to fit my space so I could fit it. It wasn't like, ooh, people say, oh, you have to have the angle, and this has to be the angle. Well, this is obviously isn't the angle over here of what things look like. That's not what it looks like. That would be what it looks like out the left if I leaned and turned and leaned toward the middle of the airplane maybe, and then looked out the side. I don't know. But I don't know. I'm yapping on. 3 screens, the saga, the continuing saga. 3 screens in Microsoft Simulator can be done. Get chase cam. Get the glass panels if you're building a panel like this. Get that glass out or pop out manager. But glass out is definitely better if they just fix the cold and dark thing on the PFD. Everything will be fabulous. That's it. I should stop talking. This is AC for Dang Flight Sim and my super 1 subscriber channel, that one person, the bravest, most awesome person in the world. Thank you, and have